One, two, three. Test. Is the bitrate scuffed on YouTube? Bitrate scuffed. It is 40 seconds behind. I know that much. Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing? Please do let me know if you're on YouTube how the quality is throughout. I am keeping an eye on it, but we've upped the bitrate since last week on YouTube. Twitch is dead and it's just not loading for me, so don't know what's going on with Twitch. Maybe if I set it to 720. Is it better when it moves though? It's when it moves is when the true. So I've set it to 6,000. YouTube seems to not lag, but also now I have the opposite effect on Twitch, where Twitch is just buffering. I honestly might just choose YouTube to stream on. Like, what's the point of multi-streaming? Like, I'm not trying to be a streamer. I'm just doing it for once a week. Is like, I don't think it'll make a difference if I multi-stream or not. Or maybe it's just me on Twitch that can't see it. Okay. Close both windows. OBS. How are we doing, everyone? It's week 2. Yeah, do let me know. Goes. Uh, yeah, not too bad. Started a new job this week, learning a lot of stuff. Um, very tired. Brain is very fatigued. So, but yeah, such is the world, right? I will say from last week, I have gone to the default Blender hotkeys for the most part. So my comfort level's gone way up with it. So I found that enabling see, my preferences have reset because I have multiple user accounts for stuff. But I found that enabling free mouse illumination. I don't know what it's called. Tab for Pi menu, that's one, and then there is a free mouse emulation. And I've set this up on every account, but then it just resets on this one. So I found that helps a lot. And then I changed the hotkey to focus on mesh to F because I don't have a numpad. And then I changed 2 mouse buttons for wireframe, and I use a lot of quick menu as well. So we'll be a bit more comfortable. So I started at a studio called Gunzilla Games. I started on Tuesday. First week, so brain is just like, whoa. It's a really cool lighting team, really cool team, but the people on the lighting team are really cool. I've been very welcoming, so I'm just trying to keep up for the most part. It's always when I stream, I forget where the buttons are, and I'm trying to talk at the same time. But how are you folks doing? How are we doing? How's it been? I know some of you are coming to the streams, some of you are on the Discord for Patreon. So I know how you guys doing because we talk every day. How is everyone else doing? Can't believe it's been a week already. That's pretty awesome. Scary. Well, so I have gotten used to middle mouse button human as well. And then what I have on my PC is I have wireframe. I have that shortcutted to mouse 3. There we go. Perfect. I forgot what I use mouse 1. Oh, mouse 1 is X-ray. Yeah, I didn't copy my preferences over like a potato, so get to see the funs of that. X-ray, there you are. Let's change you to mouse 2. There we go. Perfect. Tackling deadlines for work? Yeah, deadlines. They are always coming. It'll be cool to look at some Patreon work as well later on. See how we've progressed since last time. I watched a pretty good movie the other day, Tetris. Have you seen the Tetris movie? It's got the main actor from Kingsman in. That was pretty. I found that pretty entertaining, to be honest. There we go. Perfect. Right, so let's get some Blender practice in. This is week 3 of using Blender, I think. I say week 3, but it's honestly a few hours over 3 weeks. Yeah, it's about the how the oh god, it's so messy. I don't fully understand the story of it, but it's how the rights of Tetris were like being fought over, and there's rights for like the PC version, there's rights for the handheld version, and they didn't know the handheld version was a thing yet, and then oh god, it's so many things, but it was good. Just advertise out the stream. I watched Gladiator 2 a few weeks ago. Not as good as the first, but still pretty respectable. Oh, good, Mark. Coming by and saying hi is more than enough. Like I say, this motivates me to try and do stuff. Otherwise, I'd be like, I'd be playing games all day. Especially now with the new job, it's just very busy days as well. How do I find my own stream on YouTube to link to it? Let's see. Okay, there we are. Go to my stream. Yes, it does. I'll just do the Twitch link. One knows Twitch. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll start building some stuff for future videos. I've already built some basic things to use in videos for tutorials, like for textual density and stuff like that. But we need to build some modular stuff. I think that will be good to do because modular stuff I can do a very basic block out to get used to the Blender stuff, and all that jazz. There we go. Stream advertised out. Just let me know how the quality is on Twitch throughout, or however long you're here for, Leah. Because I think we might have found the good settings for both platforms now compared to last week. So did the studio approach or did you apply? I applied, but I have one or two friends on the lighting team there that, you know, made me aware of the role. So it wasn't like a 100% blind application compared to some of the studios I interviewed with in November. This one I knew one or two people at. Still had to go through, you know, interviews and everything, right? But that's how that sort of came around, and hopefully I can you know, do well at the studio. Always a bit scary being new at a studio, because you kind of start again, really, from unless you know people, you kind of start again in terms of there it is, emulate free button, in terms of like how you work and stuff, and it takes a while to get in. It takes a few weeks to get like tasks and stuff like that, or like the main tasks. So, and the people are really cool so far on the team. Like I know some of them, and a lot of them I've seen before on ArtStation. They're pretty pretty insanely good. So yeah, I will try my best as always. We'll see what happens. That's funny. My hotkey for recording is the same hotkey as Blender. Let me just change that to F12. uh, right, let's pick something to start making as a block out. Chrome? Windows 11, bit weird. Bit weird today, Windows 11. It doesn't have to be insane. I don't know if we'll take it to completion, but I have some stuff I want to talk about for blockouts in a future video. So I think if we need a blockout excuse, let's find something to maybe from a concept. Depends. Do we want to model over an image or do we want to model from eye? Modeling from eye is fun. I think that will help me with training Blender. I know my internet is much slower now. I'm on 6,000 bit rate, so maybe time to upgrade the internet. Who knows? I only have 30 megabytes. We need something that's obviously modular. There's a second film. There is Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal. Is that his second name? Oh, I suck at stylized. I don't think I've done a day of stylized in my life, Mark. I ain't modeled in ages either. So Yeah, the second film was okay. It was all right. You know, it was okay. This would be good for modularity, although it's quite big to do. But we're only blocking stuff out anyway. So Yusuf Arton, we may block some stuff out for that. It depends. I need to learn Blender, so I think we need to model something. So a piece like this, right? You've got two options. You can camera match it and model over the image, or you can just do it from eye. It really depends. In film workflows, people usually offset the image and model over it. I think we'll just go by eye. We'll do a block out over the next few streams. I say the next few streams because once a week, unless I do some outside of work, or maybe we'll just focus on this square area here for now. But yeah, that's what the streams are about, learning some stuff and talking. So you have to go too hard on stuff now. I don't have the scale dude. Need the scale dude. When save. Yeah, so this year the streams are they're based around things I don't do day to day. So obviously I'm a lighting artist, so my day to day tasks relate around that. So I don't want to do lighting in my own time. I still have something to finish off that I've been doing lighting wise. I don't want to just leave it, so I need to finish that off stream. But ultimately, I would say, what I can say, modeling, substance designer, tileable materials. Tileable materials in substance design is my weakest point. Modeling, I haven't modeled properly for a while outside of doing stuff in my previous job, which again, just good to keep stuff going. And I need to learn Blender because I don't have licenses anymore. So, and as I learn Blender, you guys can probably point out some things that help me. Now, Renzo, who is on the Discord, and he's a very good friend of mine, known him for a long time. He showed me something awesome, and you guys are gonna laugh because it's probably the first thing you learn in Blender. But I didn't know that if you can hit R, X. I knew you could hit X, but I didn't know you could hit like 90. I didn't know you could type in that order to rotate things by a certain value. I thought that was pretty cool. As well. There's a few add-ons I need to grab. I won't grab them on stream, but I will grab them for next week's stream as well. So yeah, we're slowly getting used to it. So we do G, Z, 1, and we move up on the grid. So stuff like that I find is really pretty awesome. Honest. Let's catch up on the chat. Oh, someone's already done it? I could do it better. Nah, I can't do it. That's good. That's okay. I doubt it will be a project on the portfolio, but it will be some fun to do for the next few months. If we stick to it. We'll do one part of it for now. But yeah, there's an add-on that apparently will show your axis, because I notice you have this, right? But this seems to disappear every 5 minutes, so I think there's an add-on to just keep it there permanently. I turned these on the other day, but after a while they just disappeared again. So yeah, I don't know. Hello, Hydro. Have I missed anything in chat? I don't think so. In terms of the next YouTube video, I honestly don't know. With work, life is pretty busy. There is Patreon stuff, obviously. There's a commitment to the Patreon. People are paying for it. So there'll be a video coming out for that probably next week. But in terms of next game to look at, I'm not too sure. I need to find the time for it. So that's why I have the streams. Streams can load up, talk to you guys, and start making stuff. So that's, again, a good way to keep in touch with the community, keep myself accountable. And you can watch me learn Blender. So in the next few months, be a Blender master. I doubt it, but it is what it is. Yeah, I know about double tapping G. That's good. Oh, thanks very much, Mark. You need any help? It's all good. Look, learning and being a potato like I am is gonna be the way. Node Wrangler, yeah, there's some good add-ons posted on the Discord for stuff to look at. UV Pack Master, stuff like that. I'm going to avoid machine tools for now, just because I want to do a bit with the core tools, and then eventually we'll get that. But we're not really hard surface anyway. We're environment art. So well, a lighting artist that used to be an environment artist trying to get back into environment art. So it is what it is. I had a question. These streams are just going to turn into self-help streams. So I want to move the pivot to the corner of here. What I have been doing is going to vertex mode, hitting Shift S, cursor to selected, and then I have a quick menu which I don't have here, set origin to 3D cursor. Is there a faster way, or is that one of the main ways to do it, to manipulate pivots to selections? I need to quick menu you because I have lost my preference. Perfect. Quick favorites. Full screen. Well, put this onto the side with the chat. Let's figure some stuff out. There's also an options drop down in the top right. You can check origins and then you can move it like an object. What do you mean? Oh, okay, I see. I turned that off before because that thing was I guess that must be the equivalent to pressing insert in Maya to manipulate the origins. Interesting. Oh, I love ChatGPT. Yeah, it's good for that sort of stuff, like asking questions and being good to go in that front. So from memory, the grid is already separated into 2 meter chunks, which is good. I think this will be good for the textile density stuff. I set up some textile density stuff the other day on the other computer. I think this will be good for that as well. Have some fun in that regard. Yeah, Benanda, I used Maya for 12 years. I started switching to Blender mainly as a self-improvement thing for the channel. Because I do lighting now. Don't really do environment art, even though they can cross. So but yeah, it's start off slow, but we'll get there. We will get there with it overall. Yeah, I haven't used the gizmos recently. When you see them for 12 years, always interesting. Let me zoom in on here. Let's make some random stuff. I need Manny as well. Need Manny. I know Manny is 1.8 meters tall, so good to go. We'll put Manny in for next. What would be your advice to learn how to texture for games? I feel comfortable modeling. Depends on what type of texturing. Props or environments, because they both have similar fundamentals, but they both have very different approaches. Like if you want to texture for environments, you kind of have to know what tileable textures are and trim sheets. If you're texturing for props, then you can just make your typical 0 to 1 sort of prop. But it comes down to a few things. It comes down to like theoretical things and software things, like being able to look at reference and understand how to debug it. So you look at a brick wall. Is it a brick wall or is it a specific type of brick wall with specific like mortar and chiseled this, chiseled that, learn the history behind the object, and all that sort of stuff. For prop texturing, there's a guy on YouTube. I think his name is Thomas Butters, but he calls himself something else online. He's like the lead prop artist on Rust. He has some really good videos on texturing hard surface stuff and modeling hard surface stuff. Any sort of typical tutorial from ArtStation can be pretty good as well. So yeah, it's really down to you. You can find models online for free that have UVs and just practice texturing them. So there is a website called The Base Mesh. And you can get a bunch of models for free and just practice texturing them. It will just save you having to model stuff and focus purely on texturing, and then you can go back to the modeling if that's what you're comfortable with. Yeah, ArtStation Learning. You don't know about ArtStation Learning? I think it's free. It used to be paid for, then it was free, but I think it's now free for a while. So you go up to here to learning. And there's lots of tutorials here, and ArtStation is generally a bit crapper nowadays because of the AI. But there are some go-to tutorials here, right? So someone was talking about props. How do I texture for props? Well, there's a really good there's a really good tutorial on here. There's quite a few tutorials really, but there's some good tutorials on texturing. Was it a drill or a coffee grinder? There's this one tutorial that's really good. But yeah, look at this. Environment production, planning an environment by Decagon. This stuff has good stuff. It's more specific tutorials. My stuff isn't really hands-on tutorials for the main channel. It's more like overall learning and the bigger picture, which there's enough people that do like how to model tutorials, right? So this stuff will be the how-tos, which will be really good. Here we go, Substance Painter. This one by Jason Ord. This shows you how to texture, model, and stuff like that. It's pretty good. But yeah, I like to look at the bigger picture as opposed to like, here's how you model X, because you can get a ton of that anyway, right? So Yeah, Decagon's great. They've got some really good stuff. I think they have the Butcher's Alley one as well. They do a lot of like every step of the process type of thing. So I need you on a quick favorites. Go. I also like to look at the bigger picture, learning bigger skills. Yeah, exactly. That's why environment art is good, because you have to learn a bit of everything when you are trying to do stuff, right? You got a chair with cloth on. Well, marvelous designer. Oh, my title's correct, by the way. Trying to figure out some good titles because YouTube's going to save these VODs. So it should say like week 2 or something like that. I really like the way you make your videos and how you break down the methodology. Is there some processes that are good? Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, it's kind of strange actually because if you'll notice on some of the videos, um, some are more edited than others. I've been trying different things, but the channel mainly got its initial burst of just me talking over images that are slightly organized on Miro. Like, there's no script, there's no heavy editing, and that's a bit weird to start off with. But I'm like, okay, if that's what the channel works on, there's no point in me doing. I could spend 20 hours editing a video, or I can get the video done in an hour, and it will have the same effect. So I think I'll just base the channel off me talking and doing like small edits to keep things going. But I think that's what works, and the channel is a hobby. It's not really I'm not looking to try and get millions of subscribers. It's just like me putting out my thoughts. So I appreciate that, Bernardo. Yeah, Bernardo. I just like talking about stuff and how it might be done. It's never an exact art how stuff is done. Like it could be, but it's generally quite close in terms of how it could have been done. Every studio has their own custom tools, right? So I should probably get PureRef. This is what I'm going on my second monitor. Have you tried out the Dice photogrammetry workflow? I haven't done any photogrammetry. I'm aware that Dice used to do some really crazy optimization stuff though. They would bake an asset with quartered UVs for the normal map, and then have a second UV unwrap that was unique for the albedo, just to save on memory. I thought that workflow was awesome. I did it a few times. I taught it as a workflow thing. It's very confusing to teach because Substance it can't do double UV sets very good. You can only show the final result in Unreal. But it's pretty powerful on the right objects, for sure. So going on here. What's going on here? Here we go. Oh, go away. Go away. Yeah, there's an article about it on 80 level. It's when they worked on Battlefront. Yeah, they worked on one of the Battlefront games, which is very hard surfacey. So they would quarter and half their normal map run wraps at like 512, 256. And because it's so optimized, you almost get the same resolution as a unique 1024 for the normal map because you're optimizing it so much, right? So just yeah, I find it fascinating. I'll find the article at some point. It's where's my loop tools? I brought my. Oh god, friend of mine has a question for you. What tools and knowledge do lighting artists possess which make companies create specific roles for them? What tools, knowledge? Sorry, okay, so it's lighting is it's kind of no. I'll find that in a moment. So lighting is a very odd role because what you do as a portfolio to get the job is very different to what you do on the job. Lighting is actually more of a technical job in a lot of cases than an artistic job, unless you're a cinematic lighter. That's a bit more artistic. But lighting is one of the most expensive things of a game, right? So you need people that can do it, but do it in the correct sort of way. So how can I have all these lights, but still make it run at 60 FPS and all that sort of stuff. So they can light stuff in a sensible way that makes it run. They can light accurately. So there's something called physically based lighting, which is where you actually light to real world values. That's still something that is a very specific type of knowledge that you need. And lighting artists usually can come from a lot of 3D backgrounds. It depends. So they can do a lot of sort of stuff as well. But it is a very technical job. A lot of optimization. Have you tried any modifiers? Architectural solidify modifier. I've tried the solidify modifier once. I'm still very new to Blender, but I did like the solidify modifier. In Maya, you used to have to extrude your edges in, and Max used to have a thickness sort of modifier, shell modifier. So, but yeah, I use modifiers for sub-D modeling, triple edge looping, mirror. I do like that about Blender, that it's like half and half. So I don't know about advantage over environment artists because they're different roles. Because an environment artist will light stuff, yes, and you can still get good results lighting as an environment artist, but you're only lighting for visuals, right? You're not lighting for gameplay, which is a very different sort of thing. So lighting artists will usually have a bit more knowledge about material brightness as well, how bright a material should be to receive the correct amount of light. But they are different. They're different roles in the industry. They're not the same. So even though you can come from environment art, they're not the same role. Not even in the same team in a studio. Lighting is actually mostly in a technical team. Let's quickly find this because how to. Kevin, we are just learning Blender with trying to get comfortable with Blender, making stuff that will go on the channel as videos for various topics. I should probably, do I have PureRef? Maybe we'll install PureRef now and put it somewhere so we can see what we're trying to make. Ref. But mostly I'm just vibing with Blender to get used to it. I'll download PureRef now. We'll get this. We'll get this. I might be going slightly crazy, but I need to enable loop tools. PureRef, install that. PureRef. Yeah, my Windows 11 is, considering it's a fresh install, Windows 11 is not the fastest. Environment art texturing, oh, that's a deep subject. Trim sheets, tilables. If you haven't already, watch my Assassin's Creed. This is text for ants. What is this? Watch my Assassin's Creed. No, it's not Assassin's Creed. Watch the everything you need to know about trim sheets, or something about trim sheets, part 1. It's got an Assassin's Creed thumbnail on there. That will sort of introduce you to the madness of texturing for environments. Oh, come on. Oh. This will help. Also, animation bar. No, thank you. Always on top. Always on top. Where are you? Mode. Okay, that's a bit better. And I can full screen OBS. Turn off. I don't need. No, why is my brain not working? I'm sure that loop tools used to be on here. Let's close that. Go to extensions. Get extensions. One. Oh, is it because I don't have remote data? Whatever that means. Add-ons are being deprecated. Oh, okay. I do have a warning here though. How do I even figure that one out at the time? And watch me cry at the way I'm trying to learn Blender. Man, it takes so long to save. What's going on? So yeah, eventually what we'll do is over the next few weeks. I say weeks because talking and modeling and not having modeled for a while, we'll make this facade firstly in blockout, and we'll cover some texel density. We'll unwrap it. The texel density will do a proper material blockout pass. And then I'll use the opportunity to learn Substance Designer to do the walls because I used to make my textures in ZBrush. That's how old I am. Make the brick textures in ZBrush. So I'm definitely not buying ZBrush. So it's going to be slow. It's going to be steady. It's going to look ugly for a while. Just trust me. I will bring it out the bag. All my environments look ugly until the very last minute. So. And learning Blender at the same time. You can see how easy it is to be bad like me, but still get a job. Yeah, almost a weekend. What are your guys' plans for said weekend? Doing anything cool? Me, not so much. Learning, eating, sleeping, all that sort of stuff. So Blender has that thing, right, where you can't select back faces unless it's X-ray, or did they change that? Someone told me that you had to go into X-ray mode to select stuff. Let's test that theory. Can we up select here? I guess so. But it'll be interesting to learn about these Blender things as we sort of go along, right? What's changing and what's going on. Oh man, light maps. Yeah, I don't do light maps anymore. I would trade light maps for Lumen any day. As chaotic as Lumen is. Let's test out the math. X. Oh no. SX0. Yeah. I do like the dance. I like the dance that you do with the hotkeys. It's pretty cool. We'll do that since we don't have loop tools right now because Blender isn't connecting on my PC. The relevant thing. I haven't made a material yet in Blender, so see if we can. Uh, Lagging, everything's lagging. Material, X that out. New material. One. Now, is that assigned because it's based on the mesh? It looks like it is because as I click between two meshes, yeah. So I should be able. Oh, oh, okay. So I was on that, which is solid shading, and then I was on that, which is viewport shading, is also with the Z hotkey. So what is the difference between solid shading and viewport shading? Oh, sorry, it's not. It's material preview mode. Sorry. So this is like default in Maya, I assume. Okay, and then this is like pressing 6 in Maya. So that's like hitting 5 in Maya. That's a render, which we're not using. And material preview is like hitting 7 or 6 in Maya. Interesting. Interesting. I guess that's good because you can go back to like a 50% gray then, but we're going to want material preview. If I remember correctly, because I didn't bring my preferences all over, I would like to have that very typical Blender look. Stats, yeah. Cavity. 0.5 before. I think I had it on world as well. Now, what's better, world or screen? What's the lowdown? What's the recommended cavity setting? Or a bit of both? Yeah. That's interesting. So in solid mode, you can have cavity, but in material preview mode, your cavity is disappearo, but you get HDRI control. Here's one for debate. What's the best matte cap? Vehicle artists love this one. I couldn't model in that. Anything that isn't dry is always a good matte cap, so anything with a bit of shine to it. Video light, maybe. That's that blender mode people use. Random looks like gummy bears. Are we random enjoyers here? Yes, yes, I can imagine. I can imagine. All right, we've got a cavity on. We're grey shade. I've seen Dynasty model in uses random, right? Is it? Because he's got all sorts of colors going on in his scenes. I usually just stick to grey, but you know, it is what it is. So what I'm doing, I'm just laying blocks down. Usually when I model, if I'm not modeling over the image, I'll use like the depth. So I'll look at like where my mouse is, I'll look at the depth here, and I'll just represent that very basically. Proportions will be like slightly off until we get a character mesh in, we run around it. But we're just laying down like the base topology at the moment. So once we have enough of that, we can start duplicating it as a modular piece, and then it will start to look a bit more juicy, say. So yeah, I tend to unless it's I tend to use centimeters because it's direct into Unreal as well. Historically, when I used to teach environment art, there were a lot of issues with scale conversions and all that sort of stuff. So I've always used centimeters because that's what Unreal likes. Tend to think in centimeters. Well, I just realised my cam's kind of forgot my cam is on, so it's kind of blocking the reference. Let's see. No, how do people do this? It's so hard. Go smaller. have to let me know. I don't know how the other ones do it. Yeah, I usually use 100 centimeter grid spacing, and I will usually force my meshes to a 2 or 4. Yeah, 2 monitors, but the stream can't see it then. So you get people like, "What are you trying to make?" And then it's like they can't see right. So I'm trying to keep that producer value. Also, I can't believe Blender uses Z as up. Y is clearly the correct way up. Oh, that's going to start some arguments. Definitely start some arguments saying that. What up, Bloodmaster? Sorry for asking. Is the bevel and using weighted normal to do environment modeling industry standard? So you're on about like kind of weighting the normals. So standard nowadays, as opposed to what was the standard before, because we would generally always you generally always bevel. Like I will eventually bevel these 90-degree corners with a single chamfer. It's just that now people know a lot more about the weighted normals modifier because of Star Citizen. So yes, it is generally the main way for a lot of games. However, some games will retain, like this edge here, right? Some games will keep their 90-degree edge because bevels may be too expensive all over the place. And they will instead, what they'll do is, look at me trying to talk and demo in Blender. We were getting there. What they'll do is they will cut in an edge loop like about here, and then they'll cut in an edge loop on this. Let's do this. Okay. Friggin' matcap getting in the way. So they'll cut in an edge loop here, and then what they'll do is they'll just separate the UVs on this selection, right? And they'll map that to something. So it really depends. I say you can't go wrong just doing face weighted normals with a Bantha, freaking Star Wars with a bevel. That's what we'll do to this eventually. Maybe in the blockout, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, it's a good way to do stuff. How they do it for Star Citizen as well. But there is someone here, maybe here, but definitely on the Discord that would know a lot more about that than me. Let's quick assess. So we need a bit of a downward trend there. This is further out. We want to get the proportions right, even if it's a block out. There's various levels to block out. There's like basic block out, like what I'm doing, and then there'll be a proportion pass where we'll start to get like the tapering here, and we'll refine more, and then we can start preparing it. When you block out environments, you're kind of doing a lot of work already in the block out because you're not baking anything. You're going to use tilables and stuff. So for the archers, you can use the option bridge, edge loops, and edit bridge. Cool. Do you use virtual texture in your environment? I haven't made an environment in a long time, but most games, well, I shouldn't say most games, but a lot of Unreal games will use virtual textures. Yes, virtual textures, nanite. Because don't know why. I couldn't tell you the technical reason, but I can tell you it's one of the ways a lot of studios are going. Virtualizing and clustering and aging. Jazz. Hey, Mr. Brooker. 18 years. Tell me your story. Tell me your story, good chap. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, I didn't want to pay £300 for an indie license. As fast and as efficient as I am in Maya, it's just like at some point I just may as well swap. I can't afford to pay 300 a year on software that I could get for free here using Blender. So, how am I finding Blender so far? If you see last week's stream, I was a mess. I couldn't even make a box. I was like going to change all the hotkeys to Maya. This week, I've been doing a bit of basic stuff outside of the stream. I'm a lot more comfortable. We enabled free mouse emulation. We're using quick menu more. The only hotkey I've changed is I use F to frame from Maya, and I use Shift F in element mode to go into that face. So that's where we're at the moment. Yeah, Control E was extrude in Maya, I believe. W was move. We didn't call it grab, and we had a lot of axis in Maya as well. I will say Maya's viewport is probably better though. The anti-aliasing and the viewport AO, which I don't have here. And I'd say Maya's snapping is a bit more intuitive, but Blender does a lot more stuff nicer. So for sure, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm very slow at it, but that's the point of these streams. To we're streaming once a week for 2025. Imagine how fast we'll be at the second half of 2025. Yeah, and I can do the shadows one. I didn't get the same AO I could get from Maya when I tried the. I have a lot of muscle memory tied to Maya. Marking menus. Oh, yeah. That's why I like Tab. At least this gives me some semblance of Maya. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like being able to just gesture with your mouse and right click to select things is just, yeah, it's good. Nice. It's very nice. I know I put a center line in here, but you need to go away when I do some portion editing. My advice would be not to enjoy geometry nodes. Yeah, that stuff. I'm like in my third week of. I've probably used Blender for like 3 hours total. 3 to 4 hours total so far. So geometry nodes look insane, but we're gonna chill for now. We're gonna chill. I'm not gonna explode. It doesn't matter if meshes intercept. Nah. Environment art is always meshes. The general rule is if you intersect or you go to the ground and you're not going to be dynamic with the geometry, it's not going to like have destruction. You generally just delete the face on the inside. So as you can see here, this crashing in, deleted on the face, deleted on the face. I would not merge this horizontal form into this because it's going to be modular. So most of this is going to be intersected, because this makes life a bit easier. Hey, Krasna, thanks very much. Oh, Blender nodes to yeah. I like the look of cycles as well. I've seen some pretty cool things lit with cycles. Why do so many people think you can't intersect messages? Where does this meme come from? Well, that is probably the same school of sage advice that people who say triangles are bad, modeling quads. It's one of those things where I haven't heard it in a while, but sometimes you will get teachers that will say you should model out of one airtight mesh for X, X, and Y, X, Z, and Y. X, X. We're going somewhere else with that. For X, Z, and Y, I remember that advice being given back in 2013. So it's just legacy advice that, you know, hangs around in places. Oh, no. No, stop it. Oh, off. That's because I've had problems in Unity when I've intercepted meshes. Depends. It depends really, like what you're intersecting into what. In most cases, it's fine, but it really depends on like it's a corner piece into a straight piece. For modularity, yeah, you would usually put those together, but I haven't used Unity. People used to complain about Vanilla Maya due to the fact we use many custom scripts. Oh yeah, I hear that blend. You need to arm Blender with like 20 scripts or something, right? Yo, Renzo, how we doing? Hi, Am I saying your name right? Karadin? Oh, Renzo, you know Renzo will know. Renzo was he studied with me at university. Do you remember when people used to say back in those days of game art, you should model out of one airtight mesh? Do you remember that line of thought? Used to kind of creep its way around in the early 2010s and stuff like that. So the gap between here and here is not as big as I have it. So let's refine. So we'll probably bring these two faces forward. How did I go into sculpt mode? WTF. GX, I think. And we'll roughly get it right. If we're clipping, it's okay for now. We'll just try and get it roughly in place. And assess afterwards. Oh yes, makes it so hard to model here. I like to use lots of quads and stay airtight, but only to practice when I might need it. If all fails though, yeah, you can, for your, if you have your own sort of challenges with modeling, you want to model clean topology, this and that. That's cool. I know with film, they take quads a lot more seriously. The proper answer to this is you just model the way the studio wants you to model for the pipeline. Is the easiest answer. Is honestly the easiest answer. Oh, here's a good question. Ah, there we go. Oh, oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, yo, Matt. Yo, yo, yo. You got any stuff? Post it in the whip. Obviously at 9:30, which is in. It's really been that soon. Really been streaming for an hour and 20. Oh, review any stuff that's in the Discord or any Patreon work. You can hold shift while scaling to make it more granular. Ah, yeah. Nice. Thank you for that. Very much. Well, that's weird. Look at that. That's like a concept art sheet. Well, that just kind of flows into that. Keep it separate. The block out for now. Press into that. Has a tiny little gap at the top. We can start getting that in, and the more we add to the block out, the more we can reveal how off our proportions are, and then we can just start moving verts and massaging them in place. Especially once we get this arch in the middle, we will be able to really refine proportions. Oh, lots to catch up on. I worked as a video game artist in 2004. Well, you're probably being secretive. You don't want to say what you worked on, but is it in the UK scene, the EU scene? 2004. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. That's really cool, man. I think quads are amazing, but I hear a lot of arguments for using quads that are wrong. I think it boils down to easy select and cut, and make loops. Yeah. It's like on arches, right? You don't quad arches. It's just never happens. Like when you this isn't flush to the wall, so we won't need to merge it. But if this was flush to this wall, we would not quad from the arch. I don't know if PureRef has a pen tool, but you would terminate triangulate up to the corner. So in cases like that, for sure. But you don't have to be in triangles everywhere. You keep your edges that make sense for easy selections. Annotate? What's this? Oh my God. Wait, can we actually... Oh, I was hoping you can annotate over the screen there. But yeah, when oh, you can see my drawing skill. If the arch was flush, right? You always triangulate, terminate, and then up. Like everyone does that, right? So some people tell you not to do that and to keep it in quads, which is, that's where that sort of tribalism for quads can be destructive more than helpful, right? So got to catch up on chat. Got to catch up on chat. Yeah, Renzo. Last week, how slow were we? Right, we're getting there. You wait, bro. I'll be. Give it a second half of 2025. We'll be really good to go. When making modular pieces, should they fit perfectly into the grid? Starting out, yeah. You want to stay to the grid as much as possible. Eventually, you can vert snap stuff, but it's good practice to stay to the grid. It just makes everything easier for texturing. We will be on the grid for this. So we'll either use a 1 meter. For this segment, we'll either use a 1 meter or 2 meter. Probably a 1 meter. To be fair, though, it doesn't have to be 1 meter because if this was flush, if there were no pillars at all, it would be difficult to retain the correct TD and tiling. It wouldn't be impossible, but it'd be difficult. But because there are pillars, we can actually make this not tile if we wanted to, because the pillars will hide the seam. So we get a bit more freedom in that regard. But when stuff is flush, I just recommend stick to 2 to 4 meter snaps. 1 meter for various things. If you're just beginning, purely beginning, and then when you get more confidence, 3 meter snaps and this, that, and the other. When you use functions like scale, it's going to create a slider from your current mouse position so don't start with your cursor directly on it. Okay, cool. Thank you. Look. Started in the UK, been in Canada 13 years. Most recent shipped game was Gotham Knights. Oh, interesting. Let me come back to that one. Control D, thank you. You can draw in PureRef. How do you draw in PureRef? Note. Oh, Control D. That's what Ryan said as well. Nice. Oh, nice. That's cool. That's good. I like that. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, so this isn't flush, right? So this will be its own mesh. If it was flush, we would go up to the corners, right? But we don't need to because it actually sits above the surface in topo. Annotate for feedback and stuff like that. Yeah. Triangles are great for controller. How many rows of quads? Oh, like a redirect? Have you completed your rite of passage and made? I ain't doing the donut tutorial. Hell no. We're going environment all the way. We're gonna learn through pain and modularity. I ain't making no donut. Nothing wrong with the donut, but I'm not gonna be claimed by said donut. Donut is too complex for me to make. I'm not an environment. I am an ex-environment artist. If it's not a cube with a tileable texture, I'm not interested. Get it out. I would always say snap to the grid with modules. If you make a concept game, snapping to verts won't be that accurate since compression can change. Oh, really? Compression can change verts slightly? Oh, I've never heard of that before. Really enjoyed your... Thanks, Jin. Josh Power, sounds like a great career, Mr. Booker. Oh, I feel shy. I've got all these 2005, 20-year veterans watching me and watching me answer questions about stuff, and I'm scared. How would you not know, Kevin? How did you find? Wait, you're on YouTube, so how do you find YouTube streams then? Because I'm not familiar with how YouTube discoverability is done compared to Twitch. I'm using like a multi-stream. The quality last week was really bad on YouTube. You'll have to let me know how it is this week because I've put the bitrate up to 6,000. So we should have a watchable quality ? On both platforms. Vert's move. I've not heard of that before. I know Vert's move with Lords, but so you went to Canada. When did you go to Canada? Did you have to do the whole H-1B visa thing, or do you have like you could have citizenship in both? Because it's not very common for a UK artist to go outside of the EU. You have to be like god level. So when people do that, I'm like, oh my god, I will bow down to you, good sir, or good madam, or whatever. Cheers, Josh. What sort of stuff you worked on, man? Cheers, Mohammed. That's funny, carried in. I think it's because I've been following another channel from who's also learning Blender, and I've watched a few of your videos recently. Ah, cool. Let's see, can we beat this other person learning Blender? Who can? How do you even gauge that? Who has learned the most Blender in 2025? Our piece is quite thick compared to this, so we'll probably we've got a few options. We can go down to a 1 meter snap and divert from the concept, which in the for modularity is fine. We can not make it modular and just do the whole panel, which is fine as well. But since I want to use this for a modular video in the future or an example for blockout stuff, we'll probably go to a 1 meter potentially. Even though we could go to like a 1.2 or 1.5 meter and use the pillars to hide the seam between the tileable. It really, there's so many options, right, with it as well. Oh, that's awesome, Josh. You're a secret artist god, Mr. Brooker. You getting that H1B visa? I would one day like to work out there, but it would take a lot of I would have to really level up on a on portfolio and experience. It's quite scary as well, the thought of moving to a different country. Because I live in a village in the UK, so yeah, it's always a bit doing the actual move. Scary. We'll try it for now. I need to get Manny in. Need to get a scale mesh in ASAP. But I don't have Manny at hand. We will put Manny in off stream. Oh, snapping. Oh, my Blender's really slow as well. I think it's something to do with my Windows. It's fresh install, but things just Chrome is just slow sometimes, and oh, that also tapers. Get you roughly correct on top. Oh, oh. Blender never crashes though. What? What have we done? We crashed Blender in our first 4 hours. Oh dear. No, we lost everything. We lost our blocks. You need to have a physical interior built to this. Would you also add the inner wall? Yeah, you'd add an inner wall to the modular piece, Aiden. Don't worry, I save. I'm very good at saving. I only ever lose a few minutes. Although, that's very interesting. I can't rotate as I was before. What's going on? Oh, I've gone back to industry compatible somehow. Does it not save automatically? Interesting. Try recover. Let me catch up on the chat. Yeah, modular piece to the inside. Yeah, game industry is quite volatile. -8 outside. Sounds like the UK. YouTube streams will be available as a VOD. XOT. Do US get paid more? Doesn't seem worth it with the no healthcare thing. I have no idea about that. I know they get paid more, but I don't know about US healthcare or anything like that. That's really weird. Lol, you can recover. Did you save? Yeah, there's some weirdness going on here. So I have the file, but are you saying that file recover will give me my preferences back? What? That's not the last session. What is that? Oh my god, what's going on? Blender, please. I'm trying to learn you. Quit.blend. I always want to quit. Right, so I need to save my preferences to a file somehow, somewhere, probably off stream, and make sure that I load my preferences through one of these windows. That's so strange. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. Crashed and we lost our preferences. We lost all our hotkeys. Man, it's rough. That's rough. I've changed it. Now let's quickly just restart Blender. Hey Noah, how you doing, buddy? You going to Blender as well? Yeah, yeah. Bro, try 12 years. 12 years. How you doing, by the way? Oh, really? Weird, because it just saved now as well. UI preferences are from projects, so you make your preferences in a project to make that project your startup project. See how it always starts with a cube? That's UI preference. Right. Okay, so save startup file once I set up my hotkeys in here. I don't know if do I have autosave enabled? 9 o'clock, 2 minutes ago. I don't think that was it. 10 to 9, maybe. Yeah, but UI preferences aren't keybinds. Yeah, I lost my keybinds as well. I wonder why I lost my hotkeys then. That's weird. That's weird. So I want to overwrite this. Well, I can do it twice, but I got my tab back for my pie menu. Lost my quick menu stuff, I think. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Free mouse button emulation is fine. Lost my click buttons. It's all good. We'll save it as a startup. Maybe it's something to do with, I don't know, the way I've got it installed. But yeah, I think I will save once I get set up again. When I do it off stream, I will save my keybinds in the .ini file. That's a good call. That is a good call. This happened. It's something to save your Blender configuration. Yeah. It all went, Marcus. Quick menu, everything. I didn't have much on the quick menu, but it's just a good lesson to save it in an ini file when we do, right? So in 4 years happening once a year, right? So we're not going to get one until 2026. I'm hyped. I'm ready. I'm hyped up now after that. We'll be good. We're going to be good. No more crashes. Yeah. Yeah, usually as I block out, what I generally do is I block out and I start to look at like this stuff, like the negative, not like the extruded shape, as opposed to like the main shape, and then I'll try and match that up, and I'll just constantly do that, and eventually after like 15-20 hours of block out, we'll get something really really good to go. Because I always used to spend a lot of time on blockouts, and that's how I taught it as well. Because if you spend a lot of time in blockout and get it right, the next 150 hours of production is a little bit easier. Never a breeze. Always a little bit easier. Blockout is key. One thing I need to start doing is, which I believe we can't do in the cavity mode, is start assigning basic colors to the blockout and check every now and again, because basic colors on the blockout help add separation. So basic brown here and a basic cream here, and we check that mode every now and again because the colors in the blockout can also help you get visual separation. But it also helps with lighting because lighting will bounce off those colors for bounce lighting as well. So at some point we need to get Manny in. We need to get Manny in, and we need to see where Manny would be height wise. because then we could start scaling to Manny. His hips maybe come up to here, and maybe if he's looking out a window, you can see here. So getting Manny in will be very important before we do much more before next week as well. Good. I'm off. I spent the evening at ER and wasted. Godspeed with Blender learning. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hope you whatever's happening there, you get through it good, all good. And yeah, take care, man. I'll see you next week on the stream. Anox Branner, get out. You aren't welcome. We don't serve you here. Serve you Birminghamers here. How you doing, buddy? I haven't checked Discord yet. Oh, that's one thing I need to turn on right away. Auto depth. Called. This week, much better than last week. We've kept the original hotkeys for the most part. We just crashed and lost all our preferences. We're going to save it to a notepad file or whatever and save the startup file as folks have recommended. But starting to be able to do stuff while talking, still hitting wrong keys a lot of the time, but it's only natural. We're going to start blocking out this building. We're going to focus on this section for the next few weeks and get a good block out, which is almost the final mesh, to be honest, with this, and generate some topology for vert painting, and then we'll use Substance Designer and learn that. So yeah, it's going to be, I think we'll dedicate ourselves to this concept, this right side of the concept, for once a week, next few months, whilst answering and talking, because time has already flown. We're already 20 minutes away from reviewing the Patreon stuff. So not a huge amount of time whilst learning Blender to get a lot of shapes down, but you know, we're not in a rush. We're not in a rush. So what was I going to do here? Okay, so this shape is just way too fat compared to here. Sticks out too much. But we don't want to be level here too much. So what we probably... Oh, we lost the progress. That's why. Okay. So we want to bring these down a little bit. Probably from face mode. Yeah, okay, that's what... And the shape juts out way too much. So... Oh, we lost our progress on that as well. Probably explains. Let's go back to where we were much thinner. Out there. Yo, yo, Alex. Okay, that's looking a lot better now, proportion-wise. Still not perfect, but that's what the blockout is. Just moving forms. Moving forms. No, go away. Hey, gotcha. Thanks for coming to say hi. Yeah, so I know we can get the gummy bear mode, which is this one, right? This is cool. What we're going to do is we're going to assign the colors based off the concept albedo. But yeah, having the gummy bear colors is pretty good as well. Yeah, maybe we'll use the gummy bear colors. I don't have a preference at the moment. I'm just we're just learning. We're learning and trying what we know. I think 1 meter, it will probably be good, to be honest. Yeah. Thank you for making useful tutorials. A serious lack of Hey, thanks very much. I think my videos are more what's the word? It's not like this is how you make this. It's more of like an analysis of stuff and all that sort of stuff. But I'm glad it's helping people. I haven't done this in Blender yet, but I need to duplicate these two as an instance. So Shift D is to duplicate. It's not an instance. I will probably Google that. Let's clean these up first. So stone pillar base. Stone pillar ledge. Wood pillar. Stone wall. Stone wall. Window. I should probably put dimensions in there. No, we don't need to. You can duplicate with Shift or Alt. Which one instances? So if I edit, it will edit the other one. Any aspirations for geometry nodes? And see, Matt, you're the procedural king. I know. It's too much for me, man. It's too much. Not yet. Second half of 2025. Matt is a friggin' it's Houdini wizard and a what's that? What is it? Cinema 4D and so I'm hearing Alt D. So okay, let's grab you and you. Alt D. Y. Snap. Ah, perfect. So Alt D is to instance duplicate then. Okay, cool. Ah, yeah, cool. That's what I wanted. You know, maybe this gummy bear mode, maybe it will grow on me. Kind of reminds me of like 60% keyboards. Don't know why. But yeah. We probably need to hotkey to go back to grey mode. Or we need to hotkey to go back to material and random. Seeing in grey is important. We can do that. Nice. Maybe think of a hotkey. Is 4 and 5 used for anything in Blender important? 4 and 5, not on the numpad, just normally. 4 and 5 used for anything super important. You take the high road, I'll take the low. Yeah, that's awesome, Matt. It'd be awesome to learn that stuff from you. I found turning on display edge length. Display edge length. I'll keep an eye out for that, unless you know what menu it is in. Catch up on chat. Yeah, Nicholas. I've been using this. I like it. Software. Well, I'm a lighting artist, so Unreal, Photoshop, Maya. When I did environment art, I haven't used Maya I haven't used Maya in a while actually. So I haven't modeled stuff in a long time. That instance is editing the wrong side though. Oh, I need to mirror it, you mean? Okay. I mean, they're both. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I need to mirror it. A good tip is if you use Alt S in the edit mode, you get rid of all triangles in your mesh. That's good. I wouldn't want to get rid of triangles on purpose though. A good tip if you use Alt S. You have to be in the edit mesh mode. Welcome, mate. This tip. Right UI, edit mesh mode. Yeah. Auto merge. How did you decide on what to base scale on? How do you decide if a module increment scale to? We're still scaling as we go, but I'm just using the grid. The grid is 100 centimeter stops at the moment. Yeah, I like them. I like the mirror modifier. I like that a lot. Because mirroring in Maya is always a bit of a fun one. This is what he was on about. Edge length, right? What mesh was I on before? I forgot. Oh, I see. What is this? A text for ants? So I'm used to that with Unreal's HDRI adaptation. It's like a text for ants. Yeah, this is cool. I like this. Yeah, 1 meter. Cool. 1.21 meter. So if we really wanted to be like really on it, we could make this 1.2, but vertically doesn't, unless we're going to snap vertically, it's not a huge deal. Oh, I couldn't work with a bright background. It hurt my eyes. That would hurt my eyes. Maybe I'll try and get used to gummy bear mode for a bit. Yeah, gummy bear mode. That's saving for an awfully long time, which is very sus. Very weird. Very weird. Very weird. The correct face attribute you clicked in the option changes the way Blender understands the model when you stretch it, like Unreal Engine, perfect rescale. Oh, cool, cool, cool. If you want, you can join the meshes and then use L when hovering over that separate mesh plots to highlight separate pieces. Great for blocking out assets, ensuring the base is metric compliant. Yeah, I'm all about metrics. I am all about metrics, especially for text with density. When I was a bit more efficient and stuff in Maya, this 1.21, this would be, like a 1.3 or 1.5, depending on if we needed to snap to a certain thing. Like vertically, it doesn't really matter as much. And because we have pillars, it doesn't matter that much for this piece, but we still want to try and make it nice and good to go, right? Because ultimately, the pillars are not going to be modular. They're just going to float on top of the modular bit, is my plan. Yeah, I tend to stick to 1 meter snaps, and then I will go higher for more specific stuff. For trim sheets, I will usually make a 200 by 200 meter plane and I'll actually divide it. I won't use the grid. I'll divide the plane into about, I'm terrible at math, but I'll divide the plane so that each square is 1 centimeter. Or each square is 10 centimeters. So that the lowest element on my trim sheet would be 10 centimeters if I needed it. So some people use 20, but yeah, I do divide the actual plane up to use for snapping as well. I just find it very helpful. You don't have to do it, but it's just something that I think is helpful for me, at least. Okay, so yep, need to be like that. Is that okay? I? What is I? And someone told me to do it from the mouse when it's off to the side. Aha, there we go. We're learning. Oh, look at all these numbers. Can I get used to that? Now I'm like worried that I'm not a set number. My OCD. No, it's ruining my OCD. Turn it off. Turn it off for now. Edit mode. Turn it off. Get it away from me. Where is it? Yeah, let me try and showcase it. Let's see if I am really know what I'm doing, which I don't, by the way. So let's say you got a plane, and that's already come out at 4 meters, 4 meters, 4 meters, 2 meters, 1024, 2048. I'm trying to do math in my head. No. No. Yeah. We got there in the end. Excuse me? Excuse me? What? Oh no, what have I? Why are you linked? Did I link you by accident? Control L? No? Unlink? Is there an unlink? What did I do? I linked it to the friggin' thing somehow. Ah, such a potato. Why did a new plane link itself? Because oh, that's okay. It's like 3ds Max. I see. You got to be careful when you're in edit mode and object mode. See, that's my Maya potato-ness. Okay, we're in object mode. Shift A, somebody said. There we go. Mesh plane. Perfect, thank you. Yeah, okay, that used to be a problem in Max as well. In Maya, you don't get that. But I remember in Max as well, if you don't scale the verts and you scale the mesh, you get issues as well with the X form. So, look at me. See, laughing at my dispense. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. Entertainment. It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry. So here's something I haven't done. What's the easiest way to subdivide this without doing it one by one? So I can do that. Or do I just keep right clicking, or is there an easier way? Well, I guess subdividing it like that would be the math, right? So, but anyway, besides the point, my potatoes aside, it was it Leah. So when I make a trim sheet, we'll make our trim sheet, we'll lock it into an axis, and I won't use the grid. That's good to know, Kerrigan. What I'll do is I'll divide this. So in Maya, you can divide it 40 times or whatever by the math. And here, we'll just do divide and then we'll shift R it a few times. Now, I don't know the math, but let's just pretend. So we'll divide it to like something like that or higher. And then what it just basically means is your finished element on the trim sheet can only be as thin as the smallest quad. So when you work out the math, which we haven't done here, this would be, well, actually, maybe that thing is good, actually. Forgive me, this edge length. I miss you, my child. So obviously this is all scuffed, right? So it says 0.625. But, if we were in centimeters and we had it set up proper, this would say 10 centimeters or 20 centimeters. But basically what it means is when you start making a trim sheet, you can just like grab like this, like 3 sets of faces, and you can definitely turn back off. Be gone. And you'd be like, okay, this is 30 centimeters. What can we put at 30 centimeters, right? So your trim sheet then becomes snapped in nature, if that makes sense. So you can actually just start assigning materials to these faces or separating them and then putting your textures or your high polys above that. So it just means that everything on your trim sheet is vertically has a set amount of space. If that makes sense. So like this wood, right? If we could say, okay, this wood, we're going to do, I think, 40 centimeters of wood trim would be good, or, something like that, right? And then you could say, okay, what's a really thin element? I don't think we really have any. Rope. We could say for the rope, right? We could say, okay, 20 centimeters. So, you can use the quads on the trim plane to actually start planning your trim. And it's all snapped and perfect, and it's all good to go. But I'll be doing it. I'll do a video on that in the next few weeks when we get to the stage of making a texture trim. For now, it's just pure modeling. It's past, so we're going to transition into feedback for the Patreon or the Discord. Thank you very much, Gold. In the case of recreating references one-to-one, do you suggest trying to like... if you want to make it one-to-one, which rarely happens in games anyway, you would use fspy. But realistically, you are going to change the concept to make it work for gameplay, whether it's snaps or readability. So yeah, I could fspy this, make it non-modular, and just model it, and make my life probably a little bit easier. But we're going to make it modular. So, for example, we're making this 1 meter, whereas this is probably 1.2 meters in the concept, right? If we look at the proportions. So it just really comes down to, your goals for that. Rightio, who has some stuff in WIP? So looking at the Discord, Patreon Discord. I'm going to use Matt. I'm going to look at your masks. Yeah, my Windows is very sus. I wonder if it's Chrome. Maybe I need to just get rid of Chrome. It's very slow. Oh, oh dear. So Matt is working on a scene. Is there an easier way for me to do this? Hold on. Let me hide the server list. Okay, we'll just do it this way. Side screen this to OBS. It's all good, Matt. You can work at whatever pace you want to work at. I mean, look at me today. 2.5 hours, I made a square. Okay, let's look at this. It's good because you can model over it as well, right? So it's a good start. You've probably done a bit more to it since you posted it. If not, I'll just leave some comments anyway because I think it'd be helpful for the stream. It'd be cool to... Yeah, I thought so, Alex. Yeah. And Kerrigan, that's good. Let's get these caps in. For sure. You would generally want to sculpt this or do a sculpt pass on this. But if you don't have ZBrush, sub D with some substance alphas on afterwards. Let's shell it for sure. Shell the eyes. So let's get depth in the eyes. Eyes are a bit low poly unless it's a pre-smooth or a blockout. Again, I'm just taking it at face value, Matt. So you probably have all this planned already. So ears in the air. Getting some asymmetry in here will be good. So once you've modeled these, you can just grab the verts and pull and push them in different areas. Yeah, like getting these little trim. It's all trim. It's all trimmy trim. Getting these little trims in the high poly. And let's start getting the silhouette. So let's start adding some horizontal loops here. You can carry on your horizontal loop across here and start pulling those edges in. And we'll be good. Yeah, let's just shell it. It's already good. It's great. It's a good block out. This is a good block out. It's got all the stuff in, and you just do a proportion pass now. Same with your other masks. I do especially like this one. This one's a bit further along in the process, it seems. So I think this is pretty much ready to go. Like, you could just get bake this down and get a texture on it, and this sort of blobbiness will just give it this nice dented look that you've got. There is some, again, asymmetry in this. So the far left eyes here are further, are the eyes or whatever? They're further away from the middle. And they have more of a thicker rim with a smaller hole in the middle. So it depends if you're taking it, if you're going for accuracy or trying to get the major forms in of that, you'd want that. But also the banner on the head goes all the way across. Yours is just in the middle, so maybe we can get that going across here. That'd be pretty cool. I've lost the OBS. What was the OBS? There we go. And then mouth as well. It's up to you if you want to do square mouth. I think the square mouth fits into the art style of this. This might be too organic, but something to consider. Yeah, I think the eyes probably being a bit smaller and having this headband go all the way across will be good as well. What is it though? Is it a mask? Did people have 6 eyes back in the day? What's going on here? Use the Discord. I think OBS hides the names anyway. and that you've seen. Yeah, I think we were talking about the scene and how you can push the lighting on it before, right? So the more we just move this to Unreal, the better as well. Like you're talking about light leaking. Light leaking can be addressed in a few ways. The best thing you can try and do first is just have the empty room, hide the meshes, keep them in there, but hide them and just see if what's happening with it. It could be the lumen seam detail. It could be the distance fields, how you're actually lighting it as well. So I think it's something we can look at more in detail when you've got done a few more tests to it. Oh, this is cool. More from Baptist. I like this one. This guy's happy. Oh, this guy's chilling. This mask is super happy. My favorite mask is this one. I think this has some great opportunity for detailing. You can even use the substance brush to just trace, curved brush to just trace around these edges and get that patterning with anchor points. Oh yeah, this looks really good. Yeah, nice material definition. Cool. So for anyone wondering, this is for a classroom scene, and I'm really liking the way this is looking. So we've given some notes on this and what to add, but yeah, this is really shaping up as a nice block out, which is transitioning into production meshes as well. And we're starting to get some good material definition on this stuff. Yeah, this looks cool. So, did you? So, what was? I don't know if you're on the stream actually, but yeah, good stuff. If you're watching the VOD, yeah, let me know how you got this paper detail. Is it fractal noise on a lower subdiv? Is there a drop shadow on here? It's very impressive. I like the material definition on this. Really cool. I don't really have any major notes until you do the next pass on it. If you remember from last week, we had a look at Leah's Harbour, and we have an update to that as well. So let's give it a watch. What's cool is, like, as we do these once a week, we see the same pieces of work but more progressed. It's really cool because we're seeing everyone's work progress. You see me progress a tiny bit on stream. We get to see a lot of the progression in what the folks are doing for their personal projects. So let me guess. So last week, if I remember correctly, last week this was mostly a BSP blockout with shapes crammed into each other, right? So what I'm looking at now, I'm guessing you've done a mesh pass on the blockout. Things seem to be looking a lot more like next passy, like you've done a pass, like a big pass on it. I would need to see before and afters, but I feel as though this has had a big pass on the geometry overall. Before and afters are great, by the way. With videos, they're tougher to do, but with renders, before afters are really good. But I feel as though that looks a lot different to what I remember. Yeah, so this was what we had last week. Oh, yeah. Look at, that's a big amount of work you've been doing on that for 1 week. Yeah, you've assigned the colors to it as well. Look how much just slightly tinting stuff works. That's why I was doing colors in my block out. Because look at what it adds when it's just not all grey. Just adds separation. That's why I'm always a fan of people coloring their blockouts and not just leaving it grey after you've done. Obviously, when you're modeling it grey, but when it's in the engine, get a color pass on it. Let's watch this. So yeah, this looks reading much nicer because you've done you got the rough forms, you refine them. So for here, if you're wondering, like, what do you do with this? Can you make this modular? It's just notoriously difficult to make things modular on angles, so I would just have, if you really want to make this modular, you can just have a straight piece in here, and then you have a straight piece merged into a corner piece, merged into a straight piece as one big modular chunk. Trying to merge corners as modular pieces is annoying. But even if you're not making it modular, if you're just making it out of a big chunks of mesh, just merge this into one mesh. But yeah, it's notoriously difficult to make modular corners. You usually just wrap them into a bigger piece. Yeah, you've done quite a lot already, Leah. But yeah, you see how much easier it reads? The grid helps as well. That's a good idea, you know. I never did grid before. I just did flat colors, but the grid is good as well. But it just reads so much nicer now. Scale's feeling good. I remember the hole gets very dark. Don't know if we've addressed that yet. We'll soon see. Or if we added some torches down there. But remember there's a hole that you sneak down. Yeah, I've never put grids on blockouts, but you know, I'm starting to become a believer. Especially grids that have numbers. I've seen people do grids where it has numbers in the corners of like 100 centimeters. I do like that. I do like that. Oh, is this the dungeon? Oh no, this might be more refined dungeon area. Can't remember that from last week. I remember there being like a tiny hole somewhere. You go down. Blockades are red. That's good. Yeah, yeah. So one of the big features of this is that the blockades were going to be a big part of, you know, stopping you. So making them an obvious color, which you've done, is really good. We've got Manny here chilling. That's good. Oh, here's the hole, yeah. Oh, cool. We've got some blockout lighting in here, which is address the feedback. Obviously, eventually, you can just add a post-process volume in here and up the exposure a little bit to give it more juice with the lights. Yeah, this is really cool. Like, this just reminds me of. Let me find a good angle. Like looking at this, there are parts where you can visualize how this is going to be, and I'm visualizing this with the tileable textures, the vertex painting, all the stuff that's going to come. I'm just like, oh, that's going to like remind me almost of like a Witcher game. This is great. This is like a gameplay level. Like it's a lot. It's going to be a lot of work, but this is such a great opportunity for practicing tiling textures and trims because you need it. You know, you need tilables and trims to do this environment. So yeah, this is going to be really cool. I'll say I think it's going to take you a while. I don't know how long you are plan to invest in this, but this looks like a half a year. Like this is going to be like a lot, a long project, which is good, because you're going to learn so much from it. Matt. Online level sharing to share whips like this. What you mean when you can drop in and stuff? I'm sure it's possible. Yeah, it'd be cool to just drop in and just run around with people. But yeah, this is a gameplay level. This isn't like a level where most of the time I recommend pick a camera, do it. Pick a camera, do it. This is like gameplay. This is like what you'd see in a game studio as an early pass for a level. So this is like, this is like a 2025 project, and rightfully so. Like when you finish this, it's just going to be such a journey. And I am glad that I will be seeing it on stream every now and again, once a week, once every few weeks, whenever you want to share it. Yeah, this is really cool. The changes you've done from last week are very good. What I'd recommend is if you're using Miro, just keep like in horizontal format before and afters to keep you motivated as you go along as well, to see how far you've come. Because sometimes you can spend hours and you think you've just moved the vert round, but when it all adds up, right? So keep a timeline of your before and afters. Are you still addressing feedback from last week? But you've already pushed this quite well moving forward. Yeah, Mr. Brooker. So one of the pieces of feedback we gave last week for this was to pick one building, one corner, once the blockout's been brought up, and just do that as a vertical slice. So it's really good to hear someone as experienced as such as yourself echo that, because I don't think you were here last week either. So it's just really good to know that that's what you also recommend. So it means we're doing something right. I'm doing something right. So yeah, I think that's the play. Make one building area look really good. Once your overall gameplay is done, and propagate outwards. And you also need to make your asset list as well. I know we spoke about that. Asset list will be very important to separate your assets into. Ooh, blockout update. Populated the desks. Yeah, that's looking really good. I think we've already given some notes on the Discord. Somebody gave some notes about the chunkiness. So if the chunkiness is purposeful, then it is going to be more stylized. If not, just thin those elements down. But yeah, no, obviously I'm happy with the direction of this. Like it's a colored blockout. Really good blockouts will transition pretty easily into production meshes. So that's why it's always good to spend a bit more time on the blockout. Yeah, cool. You could probably explore some more camera angles at this point, some higher focal length camera angles, telephoto, to mix it up. Scene, cool. I can see this being an interesting. If you have a shot that is vertical and cropped in, I can see that fireplace being a really good shot for that. Cool. If anyone is listening from the Patreon Discord, if you want to post something, you got 10 minutes. Obviously, the last half hour of every stream is dedicated to that. If not, we'll wind down a bit. So, save preferences, save hotkeys in a file. Figure out why stuff is slow. Probably Chrome, question mark. And then I'll probably do a little bit more off stream. And then for the most part, we'll keep going. It's not like I'm going to do it all off stream. Come back next week, it's done. No, there'll be some tiny bits and bobs. Not too much, because life is busy. Yeah. Yeah. Seems like these take the same amount of time and confidence. Would you say it's worth spend a month to make small props? It's up to you, really. Like, working on environments is usually working on the bigger picture. Whereas working on props, you can just isolate and work on that one prop. So I'd say in most cases, I would pick a smaller environment project. Like the house we're blocking out on stream, right? That's a decent small scope with lots of features in. Build your confidence with smaller pieces, and then you can tackle like a big piece after that, right? Reference up, but I can roughly remember. You're going to need arch you, and you're going to be a empty hole with black plane, green occlusion. It's all good. There we go. So those little orange dots are basically the almost like a pivot, some guess, or the bounding box origin. I don't know. Leah's all in. Nah, bro. We're making a whole level. I'm making The Witcher 5. Going all in. So the fact that my Blender takes so long to save every now and again just makes me think that I need some sort of service pack or Windows 11 thing. I don't know. Usually doesn't take that long to save. I'm liking this gummy bear mode though. Maybe we'll keep this on for a while. Eventually though, we will need to color it, just like Leah's done to the albedo, rough albedo color. Maybe put a grid on it. Make a small building. Small buildings are great. That'll train you to make tile. Oh man, it's getting. Well, that's stream 2. Time sure does fly. The VODs get saved. I think this week the quality on Twitch and YouTube was probably good. However, I don't think anybody really chatted on Twitch. I'm looking at OBS and it's saying that all of you are pretty much from YouTube. There's some Twitch viewers earlier on in the merged chat. I think, you know what I think? I might just, from next week, stream from YouTube. I don't think it's worth, like, using up the bitrate across 2 things. I just don't think it's worth multi-streaming. So I think from next week we'll just be on YouTube. That's where most people come and chat. Most people seem to prefer it, and it's linked to the channel. So yeah, Twitch today was basically no one's really chatted on Twitch except for the first, and it was Leah chatting mostly, Leah and Mark. So I don't think there needs to be a Twitch stream moving forward. YouTube saves the VOD. The YouTube quality is good now. It's tied into the brand channel, and we're not trying to be a subscriber, blah blah blah, whatever, right? So I think YouTube is the most common sense one. You guys seem to prefer it as well. Do you stream? Yes, every Thursday, once a week, which means every Thursday, because it's once a week. God, I'm a potato. 7:30 UK until 10 p.m. 7:30 to 9:30 is learning, modeling, substance designer eventually, but first for a while, learning Blueprint. Not learning. Damn it, Matt! Not learning Blueprint. He got into my head. Learning Blender. Pretty much going to be Blender and blocking out that project for the next few weeks and talking, answering questions. And then the final half hour is more of the, if you are on Patreon, it's sort of the, one of the benefits of a Patreon among other stuff. So that is dedicated to Patreon people and reviewing their work and feedback and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, every Thursday is when I'm here. Come chat, come meme, come make jokes, do whatever. We're just chilling and watching me struggle with Blender. So, yeah. I read Matt's message as I was talking. I was like, yeah, we're going to learn Blueprint. Oh, you mentioned Blueprint and Thomas. Thomas is on it. The best answer I can give you, Matt, is if you're lighting a scene with lights that are physical lights, like they come from a source, you should make a blueprint for them. I made a blueprint on my relight project. Again, we don't really do the lighting stuff on stream because it's what I do every day, right? It's the streams are dedicated for learning the new stuff. But on one of the relights I've been working on, I have a blueprint that turns the light on, turns it off, to set the cone. I'm currently looking how to turn the emissive off. And then eventually my goal is to just use this one light to learn Blueprint more. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to set preset intensities for it, which is something I planned for in December, before I ate Christmas food. So Blueprint, you will love Blueprint, Matt. Like, Blueprint is your thing for just everything. Like, you love that sort of stuff. But yeah, just setting up master controls for a light is what I'll use Blueprint for. But you can do so much stuff with Blueprint. It's kind of insane. And that's it. It's 10 o'clock, 1 past 10 in the UK. I am going to chill out, watch some stuff, eat some food. This will be saved as a VOD. Much more higher quality, I think. Yeah, I found it pretty intuitive. I don't currently... There's not really tutorials out there for blueprints in the way that we use them as lighting guys. So most blueprint tutorials are like to set up a blueprint to flash a light. But there's not many blueprints to make a construction blueprint, right, for lighting. So we've kind of just been trialing and erroring, and it's going pretty well. But yeah, I'll show you some images on Discord. It's coming along well. Mr. Brooker, dude, thanks so much. please do try and pop by every Thursday. It'd be cool to see the same names, just for a brief chat or for the whole, whatever is comfortable with you throughout 2025 as I stream and all that sort of stuff. It's been nice meeting you as well and hearing your story. Same for you, Alex, and a lot of the regular chatters that came around today. Not you, Tanux. Never a pleasure to see you, but I kid. Night, Renzo. I'll answer this last question and I'll log off. Are you going to bevel the corners? So for blockout, it's going to be 90 degrees. But when we start to push the blockout into production, yes, we will basically grab these edges and we will give them a bit of a bevel and we'll face weight the normals. But not for the blockout. That'll be when we go past the blockout. Righto, I'm going to just undo that, save and log off. There we go. Right. See you. Last minute, Abel de Leon about to leave, but I'm happy to see you. I'm your biggest fan too. I'll see you guys. Oh, Twitch viewer. Awesome. Yeah. Nice to see you as well. Might be streaming on YouTube from next week, but thanks for the message. See you guys next Thursday. If you're on the